received that call, 1,534 hours. 43. Proceeded to the scene, helped in the extinguishment of that brush fire. Some of us, including myself, I was one of the responding parties. I went ahead and came back home because it was a dry situation. I was afraid we might have a situation here that we needed to respond to. I received a call in about 1,800 hours, about 6 o'clock that evening, that there had been a bad accident, and I needed to return to the scene. At that moment, we lost one bright young individual in this community. Had a lot of promise. He was one that you could tell by his actions, his demeanor. He loved to be doing what he was doing. He joined the department just a very short time before that. I believe he had been active for about six to 8 weeks. He was on vacation when council had approved him. He was on vacation, so I couldn't get him his gear right away. Yeah, he would wait, miss a call or two. He is to date, and I didn't go back through all this, but I'm pretty much sure that I can say he is the only fireman that the fire department ever had that never missed a fire call. Always there, always ready to do what it was, even if it was just, I'll stand around here for a while, let's see what they got. And then you can go home. It was a little different on this run. And I don't think that I will ever forget the phone call I got to inform me of the accident and what had happened. From there, everything is pretty much history. I'm sure those of us that have lived this last year, we need to support each other and work together. It's been a long year, but yet it seems like it was only yesterday.
Ryan and Aaron and I went out in the truck that day and we talked to normal stuff, firefighters, we went back and had a good time. Got out there on the scene and they had firefighters from everywhere. Anyway, we went to work and done our thing, and the rule of firefighters, we all go out on the fire and we all come home. That day I didn't bring 2 guys home with me. And it's something I live with every day, several times a day. My son and I was in a fire truck the other day going to the airport. And we looked over at the monument, both of us, and boy, Ryan wished he was going with us. We go on a fire call, I look over there and wish he was with us. But evidently God needed a firefighter worse than we did. But to Tonette and Steve, I just wanted to say how deeply sorry we are, but time may heal it, but I don't think it ever will with me and our firefighters. In going on 41 years of this, that's the first one we lost, and I'll never forget it. Thank you very much.
You know, we've had a year to reflect on things. Nothing changes. seen the fire start, and I seen what the end was. But couldn't sleep one night, and I wrote a little story. And I'm not a story writer, so I never redone it. Took the hillbilliness out of it, so to speak. I'm going to try to read it. I've read it 3 times, and made it through it no time. We're going to see it. Titled this, In a Split Second. In a split second, God gave us a son. In a split second, we saw him grow up. In a split second, he was in college. In many, many seconds, he had 2 degrees. Now that, we always laughed at Ryan. One of my favorite things was to tell him, it took you how many years to get that? In a split second, he had a home of his own, a fiancée, and 2 dogs. In a split second, going to town one afternoon, we saw a field fire start. In a split second, maybe I could have stomped the cigarette butt out along with the fire. In that split second, I saw a fire truck coming. I was actually right beside the fire when it started in the vehicle. In a split second, we found ourselves listening to the radio updates about the fire. In a split second, we heard 2 firefighters were down. In a split second, Tonette asked, "Do you think Ryan's there?" In a split second, I answered very carefully, "Yes, he probably is there." In a split second, I stepped out of the car in our driveway to the biggest man I ever seen in my life. In a split second, I said, "Don't tell me my Ryan is dead." In a split second, all hell broke loose. In a split second, many family and friends were everywhere. In a split second, at 3 a.m., sitting in a cold swing on the back porch, holding each other crying, I said, "We need to buy a cemetery plot." In that split second, reality set in. In that same second, everyone here today, their lives have changed. In a split second, changed me from someone who never cried, who could become a crybaby. For a split second, as we drive by, we find ourselves looking up in an area with a big oak tree on a hillside, day or night, to see what we can see. In a split second, if someone asks me about Ryan, I'm quick to tell them about him. In a split second, Doug the dog. Some of you knew him, some of you didn't. This big old greyhound dog Ryan adopted. In a split second, Doug the dog's life was changed from having Ryan there to walk him to whoever could do it. My first trip around the neighborhood with Doug, we came to a standstill out in front of Corey's house. Trying to pull a greyhound is like trying to push a chain. Finally, I heard a voice yell to me, "Let him lead, he knows the way." Now, no, that wasn't God speaking to me. I was just a friendly neighbor that knew the dog knew the way. He led me back where we needed to be. But in that split second, I realized that only God can lead us where we need to be. Ryan once had a shirt, and it was back when the Titanic movie had come out. And on that shirt, it said, "Get over to ship sank." That was his philosophy of life. get on with your life when things happen to you. Ryan lived his life to the most up that his cup always run over. He never had an empty cup. Ryan tried to look for good in everyone. In Ryan's short life, he had met and made many friends than most of us ever thought of. That was evidenced by a year ago when the lines never seemed to stop at the church on that sad day. We're truly proud of our son and what his life meant to everyone. Clint Walker made a comment one time to Kathy, "I just missed talking to him." Ryan had a way he could talk to anybody. It didn't matter what it was. Ryan asked me if I could stop working on the house until winter so that he could join the fire department. I did not really understand fully, but I said okay. It didn't take me very long to understand why when I saw the brotherhood of the fire department. Why would anyone jump up at 2 a.m. at the drop of the tones and run as fast as they could to get to a wreck or a fire? Ryan had a goal in life. He wanted to be Dennis to the firehouse. He knew that would never happen, but it was his goal. And it should have happened because Ryan only lived a block across the football field. That never happened. In a split second, a year ago, Ryan was given a chance to go to heaven, and he took it. I believe he is now looking down. He's looking after Tonette and I. The Bible tells me that if we have the opportunity to be with Ryan again someday, and that's what has kept us going. So remember, look after all your loved ones and tell them that you love them daily, because a split second is faster than we can realize. We would truly like to thank everybody in the community. But most of all, these group of guys right here behind me, they have supported us 100%. Day or night, it didn't matter. But Ryan lived his life to the fullest. Not just being a fireman, but being a person the community could look up to. Not because he's my son, but because he was, as a lot of young people in our communities that have a good, bright future, but we can't control how long they're with us. So just remember Ryan in your thoughts and stuff, but remember these guys behind us, because we want to dial a phone number for help, we expect them to be there. But we got to remember, they're not superheroes, they're people just like we are, and they have emotions just like we do.
When I am called to duty, God, wherever flames may rage, give me strength to save some life, whatever be its age. Help me to embrace a child before it is too late, or save an older person from a horror of that fate. Enable me to be alert and hear the weakest shout, quickly and efficiently put the fire out. I want to fill my calling, Lord, and give the best in me, to guard my every neighbor and protect their property. And if, according to your will, I am to lose my life, please bless with your protecting hand my children and my wife.